Ray?
Ray has been speaking to the city council, so she should talk about that.
Yeah, tell us about solutions.
Yes, actually, my idea came from you.
Oh, really?
Well,
for spurring people to take it. I didn't know that.
It partly came from Joyce Rowley, and it partly came earlier from circumstances, which we can go back to if you want. But basically, the idea of fluoride had entered my mind. I had heard you talking about it more and more on the radio, and I listened to you every day.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well,
faithfully. And one day last fall, a man called in from another state. I think it was Pennsylvania. He was not a Texan, and he said, I've been trying to wake the people up around me to fluoride, and they just aren't listening to me. They dismiss it. They shrug it off. What should I do? And you said, among other things, you said, get active, go to City Hall, become known as the guy who talks about fluoride every week. And you had other suggestions too, like start a radio program, advertise filters, water filters, and as a way to fund yourself. But
exactly, that way you're helping people and funding yourself. It's symbiotic.
But it is. But what really struck me was, bingo, I can do that. I have the time flexibility to do that. And I studied. I was a total political virgin. I will have to say I have never lifted a finger in activism before, although I have given money to all my favorite broadcasters, including you.
But there you go, the 600 into the valley.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Yes, I studied it a little, and I came to realize that they had this citizen communication at noon when most people can't come. This is for our communications.
Yeah, it used to be at night, but now they've made it so hard. Got to sign up a week before.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh, now next will be 1 year.
It's 2 weeks.
20 years, Bob. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
They don't want to hear from you.
I had been under the impression it was evenings too.
I guess they keep changing it.
Well, this is for items that are not on the what do you call it, on the agenda.
So what you do is scan the agenda. Anything on water related, you can come in.
You're right. And
anything that's related to the environment.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, we have just started talking before the environmental board in a similar way. That suggestion came to me from Neil and also from Paul Robbins, who is a very well-known activist in Austin. In fact, the editor of the Austin Environmental Directory. And he had that idea, so now I'm going to be doing it not only on council meetings, but also...
And what we need is more people like you.
We're going to try to get that, and in fact, on this program, people who are interested will hear about it.
And don't let them stop you. I mean, pretty soon they're just going to get rid of it altogether, but then you just go speak on items. You just go check each week what the agenda is. But go sign up, take your lunch off, take a bag lunch and eat it while you're driving down there, and go let these creatures know that you don't want this poison in the water. I mean, it's not our opinion. A fish can't live in it.
I know that.
Well, I know you know, but the new listeners don't know.
Yeah, what we were told yesterday on the tour, as Ray saw, is that all the city has to do is turn the little tap off where the hydrofluoric acid is coming out, or hydrofluorosilicic acid. And so Ray might want to point that out, too. I mean, that was quite amazing that the city said all they have to do is just turn it off and stop it.
Well, there's laws against forced medication, and they say they're doing it for our teeth, and all the studies say it makes them fracture and gives you dental fluorosis. And now the American Dental Association, as you know, 2 years ago began recommending children not brush their teeth with it. I mean, even the Dental Association says it's bad, but we can't get these bastards to take it out of our water.
Well,
I'm sorry.
They also said, the Centers for Disease Control and the American Dental Association, that fluoridated water should not be used to make up infant formula. So mothers haven't been warned. They didn't really make that widely public.
Well, it's your activities and everybody else taking action. We're having victories here. But I'm going to shut up because we got a guest popping in with you on the same subject in the next segment, and we're going to keep you till 40 after. Then Gary Tallis, been vindicated, 9/11 truther, been slandered by Fox News is coming on, but that's a separate issue at the end of the show. Tell us about what happened at this tour. My guys were there, but they had to turn their cameras off for national security. Tell us how you got in, what happened, how important this was.
Well, a month ago I decided that it would be a good idea to request a tour from the city, so they agreed, and then I said that other people would like to join the tour. I thought it would be a great educational opportunity for people to see how the water purification plant works for the city and where they're adding the fluoride, and to hear this straight from them. And so we toured most of the plant. And when we came to this containment building, where they have two hydrofluorosilicic acid storage tanks, several thousand gallons in size, that building, I mean, it's a containment building. So if there's a leak, everything is contained in there. But it's obvious. The doors are labeled that this is a highly toxic, corrosive, acidic material. And they've got a shower in there in case you get exposed, and you could see some signs of corrosion to some of the paint and materials where there's probably been some vapor leak, because this is such a corrosive material. In fact, where the tanker truck comes in and unloads the liquid hydrofluorosilicic acid into the pipes to fill the tanks, you could see where there had been leaks, and the concrete was corroded on the ground. It was kind of eaten away where a few drops of this stuff have gotten down. So, and on all the lines that the city has there, the lines containing this chemical are all specially colored and labeled that this has fluoride in it.
Well, I just want to point out that we drilled a well on our family property in East Texas into the Keachai level. That's 600 feet down. It's a little aquifer. And I have family that runs the local water district. They work there. And, they're at the plant. It's actually it's my uncle's wife's brother. But the point is, he said it's the purest, best water, aquifer water, and they make them add all these chemicals under federal law. He thought it was some mandate. But the issue is Austin has great aquifer water. There's no reason to be doing any of this, adding chlorine, any of it. I mean, that's a whole nother subject. I mean, if you've got aquifer water and you're not drinking out of some toxic reservoir that's got sewage in it, like Dallas or something, why on earth would you put anything in the best water there is?
Well, they definitely talked about the different treatment chemicals that they're adding, but our tour was more focused on the fluoride. But they went through the water treatment and purification process, the filtration process. So it was very interesting. I think we learned a great deal, but we could see, from our own eyes that they're doing this fluoridation actively there. They're putting so many gallons in, a day, and they have to keep buying this chemical product. But if people, wanted this stopped by, calling, emailing the mayor and the city council, going down to speak, the city could easily turn it off and probably save $1 million a year.
That's right. That's the other point. I've seen the studies. This is toxic waste these mining companies would have to pay to get rid of. Instead, they make us buy it. What schmucks? Stay there. Let's talk more about taking action against this when we get back.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done's been right.
An acquittal in Laura Bush case, heckling case, United Press International. We'll talk about that coming up. But right now, going back to Dr. Neil Carmen, anti-fluoride activist here in Austin, Texas, anti-fluoridation activist, and Ray Nadler, Olenick. Okay. So we're fighting it here in Austin. It's the same thing all over the country. And you got all these environmentalists. And again, environmentalism has all this reasonable, smart stuff, like let's not poison the environment, let's not have pollution, let's not toxify ourselves. But it seems like the Austin City Council only wants to grab people's property for environmental preserves and later build skyscrapers on it. So really they're just, want to be realtors like Kirk Watson is now, the big realtor here in town. This is a real environmental issue for the environment, the birds, the bees, the plants, human beings. So this is something affecting everybody with the fluoridation. And you were telling me, Doc, you guys saw where the fluoride, or what they call fluoride, this witch's brew, was going in.
Yes, they had one of the units, one of the storage tanks still had a small amount of fluoride in it. They were expecting another shipment very soon, from Florida. And so the pump was actively, pumping a small amount of fluoride, putting it into the water, mixing it there. They explained the whole process.
Lovingly mixing it, though.
Right. We got to see the whole thing. And so, the city is spending a lot of money a year. They just renewed the contract.
Yes. The city had a contract of which I had the cover page but I didn't have the entire contract. And I was getting information off of the cover page, which gave some summaries. They had a contract that was set to run from March 08 through March 2010 with 3 optional 1-year extensions. And the amount of money that it was to cost was approximately $600,000 a year.
Wow.
Now, this past March, they suddenly renewed that contract. They canceled that contract and issued a new one, which is apparently legal. There must be something written into the contract that allows that to happen. And in fact, I have now requested through Freedom of Information both contracts. The old.
And we don't know if it's more or less.
We don't. No, it's more. It's way more.